What's up? This is Billy, still out here in Arizona, and I am at a mine of all places. Can you believe it? And this is one of the truck beds of the dump trucks that operate apparently night and day around this place. You know, the first thing I noticed when I got here, there is not a living, growing thing on the ground, and this mine takes up, what do they say, 80 square miles. 80 square miles of missing mountaintops. It's got to be a better way. Well, what you see over here is a truck bed, and they had it part of this little visitor center, and this is one of the engines that runs the truck. Now, check this out. I've actually been at the place. I actually worked at the Goodyear plant back when I was working as an electrician. I believe it was outside of Topeka, or in Topeka, Kansas, where they actually made these things. I mean, they're enormous. And yeah, so, you know, the first thing I walk away from being in a place like this is this is really just American mining. I mean, this is American farming in a nutshell. All right, the smell here, I don't know what it is, but it's not pleasant. It's awful. And it's like something right out of it seems like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, the way it looks. I mean, it's just bleak, desolate. I guess it's fitting that it's actually raining right now because it is kind of a dreary day. But this is really American or world farming these days. It's no different than the bleak landscape I'm looking at right now. I mean, think about it. This is why we're all about permaculture, right? Because most farming, industrial farming, is basically nothing more, as Jeff Lawton says, it's nothing more than mining. They pull this stuff out of the ground and it never goes back in. But that's what we try to change in permaculture, right? Well, it's actually raining out here in Arizona. I decided to go to this town called Morenci, and I guess it's famous for mining. And this is where they get all the copper. And let me go over this way. Hopefully you can see those giant terraces. Look at that. They're basically chopping off the entire mountain here. And it smells awful. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're doing here, but it absolutely stinks. Wow. Very bleak town. Well, not a whole lot of life. I haven't seen a single human being. I mean, I went through the town. No, I saw one person. I think I'd want to stay in too. All right, well, it's time for me to go look at something a little more pleasant. Yeah, this is more my speed. So, went and found myself a lake. A desert lake, how about that? And I'm just working like maybe 2 miles that way. I've been passing this place just about every day, and judging by what I see, I'm the only one at this lake. I mean, it has a weird shape. It goes around. I think it's called Roper Lake. But, and then over there, I don't know if you can see them so much, it's still kind of cloudy. You're like in a giant valley down here, and over there are the mountains. But this is going to get a little bit weird. Okay, so going to a mine probably isn't the best thing in the world for somebody like me, but I guess I just had to see it. Everybody talks about it like it's the seventh wonder of the world and you ought to check it out. Well, it is, but maybe not for the best reasons. But I'll tell you what's over there, right over there. You can't even see the top of it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Mount Graham. Okay? So why am I telling you about it? Well, when I found out that I'm working in such close proximity to it, you could have knocked me over with a feather. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go up it. So what's so special about it? Well, I just got off the phone with Danny from Deep South, and he already knew more about it than I did. And better still, he told me some stuff. I didn't get liberty from him to talk about what that was, but he told me about some stuff that's going on around that area that is even more mind-blowing. Let me just kind of give you the cliff notes. Okay, the native people of this world, or at least of the Americas, consider Mount Graham, there it is, right there, that's the base of it. And you could practically throw a rock and hit it. They consider that mountain one of 4 holy mountains in the world, okay? Now, back in 1985, as I recall, the Vatican teamed up with ASU, Arizona State University, and some other interests, and basically took over the top of that mountain, almost right at the peak. They have 3 different observatories up there. Yeah, it's going to get a little wild and esoteric today, y'all. They have 3 different observatories up there. And if you want to know more about this, read the book Exo Vaticana by Tom Horn and Chris Putnam. Anyway, on the top of that mountain, they have 3 telescopes. One of them is a large binocular telescope that sees in the infrared realm, as I recall. Now, it's the only one of its type in the world. And from what I've heard concerning some of the others out there, by the way, with the lean on that thing, I don't believe I'd jump in there, but I digress. Anyway, with that telescope, they're able to see in the infrared realm. And I'm getting, like I said, this is the Cliff Notes. Well, all the native people around here basically consider that mountain, along with the other 3 I was telling you about, as something of a stargate, meaning that it can take you to other dimensions, realms, whatever the case may be. Well, the Vatican took that over, and everybody was wondering, why do you have to have that one? Why that mountain? And there's a number of things that I can't possibly get into right now. It may be a little too deep for a lot of people that aren't ready for that information, but they acquired that, and they see things in the near infrared realm. But here's one of the crazy things about it. If you read in that book, Exo Vaticana by Tom Horn and Chris Putnam, you'll find out that even the Vatican insiders that work, the Vatican astronomers that work in that observatory on the top of that mountain, they openly said right there in front of everybody that they're looking at these exo worlds that are beyond anything you can imagine. But sometimes they have to wait up for a couple of hours to let all of the, quote, vehicles, space vehicles, move out of the way before they can look at these things. You know, no matter what you think about it, it's still interesting lure, if nothing else. And then the other day, I had the pleasure of being in the company of some of the local folks around here, and I asked them, I was like, I told them basically what I just told you. And I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of a risky thing. Do I say this to them? I mean, what's their response going to be? Well, I'm pretty cool with hearing the words no or get out of here or I don't like you. So I just shot at them anyway. And they looked at me with the most, like, okay, you're telling us stuff we already know, Jack. And I'm like, what? You guys all know this? They're like, yeah, anybody that's native to this area knows this sort of thing. And I was floored by it. And I almost got to the point where it sounded like they were going to tell me more. I don't know. It sounded like there was more going on around there and around this place. That it's a very, very, from what I could gather, from what they didn't actually say, it seemed as if there's a great deal of mystic power, I guess, not only with that mountain, but also with this area in general. And it's very, very sacred to the native people around here. I'm just wondering, I mean, there are theories as to why the Vatican just had to have the top of that mountain when there's any number of others around here that I'm looking at right now they could have had. But why that mountain? Why that very, very holy mountain to these ancient or to these native people? I got theories on that, but maybe I'll say that for the podcast or something like that. But anyway, I just thought that'd be interesting lore to show you today. And if you're in the area and you're at a time of year, because one thing I was hoping to do, had it not been in the middle of winter, there's snow all up and down there, and they close that mountain off. So you can only get up so far, and then you get turned around. So that's disappointing. But if I ever find myself back in this area, I'll make absolutely sure I find my way up there and go look for myself and find out what I can. All right, y'all, you need anything from us, check us out down below. Check us out at the website. This is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Here I am in Safford, Arizona, on my day off, seeing things I didn't, and experiencing things that I never really thought I'd ever have a chance to do. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.